Welcome back to Wookies on X-Wing. My name is Matt.
And I'm John.
And today we've got Game 2 of the third round of the 2016 Atlantic Canadian Regionals, held here in Fredericton, New Brunswick at MetaGameZ.
And of course, TOing was Matt and I. And we have two players coming together to have once again another amazing game of Wookies on X-Wing. And that is Harrison Waldo. And what is he flying today, Matt?
Well, Harrison is running his version of a Dengaroo list. We've got Manaroo with Deadeye, Proton Torpedoes, and extra munitions. The Boba Fett crewman, which I'm actually really excited to see. A feedback array illicit upgrade, and an overclocked R4. And then we've got Dengar dressed right to the nines with Lone Wolf, Plasma, and Flechette torpedoes. A countermeasures modification. Zuckuss as a crewman, the Punishing One title, Glitterstims, and an overclocked R4 as well.
Well, that's a mouthful. Why don't you explain to us, for the new players and to me, what exactly does Boba Fett do?
Well, Boba Fett, he's a 1-point crewman, and after you deal a face-up damage card to a ship through an attack, you may choose an upgrade card from that enemy ship and discard it.
Any upgrade card?
Any one at all.
That is pretty brutal. I'm a big fan. Boba Fett at 1 point, that's nice. And on top of which we have Manaroo and Dengar, and they just seem to be working the way that they'll be working. Every single Dengar with Manaroo squadron that I've seen so far has had its own unique twist, had its own
some personal flavor.
Yeah, exactly, a personal touch to it, if you will.
This one's got a lot of torpedoes.
Yeah. Facing off against Harrison is Timothy Duke. Timothy is flying his own version of a Palpatine Aces. Instead of your usual Vader and Soontir, or Inquisitor and Soontir, or Inquisitor and Vader, you're having Omega Leader and Whisper. So the whole squadron is Captain Yor with Emperor Palpatine. Now, for those of you who don't know, Captain Yor does one another friendly ship at range 1 to 2 would receive a stress token. If you have 2 or fewer stress tokens, you may receive that token instead. Plays really well with a high stress meta, making sure that your stealth device, cloaked Whisper can get cloaked without having to worry about stress. It's a pretty big deal. On top of which you have Omega Leader. Omega Leader is my favorite kind of dirtbag. He has Juke and Comm Relay, very standard loadout for him. Then you have Whisper. Now Whisper is a little different. Whisper has Veteran Instincts, normal. Fire Control Systems, normal. Advanced Cloaking Device, of course, but he also has Agent Kallus. Now, Agent Kallus came out in the Imperial transport, and what he does is, at the start of the first round, choose one enemy small or large ship. When attacking or defending against that ship, you may roll you may change one of your focus or eyeball results to a hit or an evade result. So he is very, very flexible. And what that means is that if you have that one big, heavy hitter, and he's firing at your Phantom, you are almost guaranteed that if you get a bad dice roll, you can really change it to your favor. Especially when you have Emperor Palpatine doing that already, gives a lot of flexibility. Now, in this game, we are almost definitely going to be seeing Agent Kallus being used on Dengar for obvious reasons.
Whisper wants to get in there, wants to kill him fast. And with the 4 attack dice that a Phantom has, you're definitely going to be using the offensive ability of Agent Kallus there as well. It's just, that's, the fleet that Timothy's built here, that's quite a lot of internal dice modification.
Oh, yes.
It should be pretty efficient to see, actually. And then, well, Omega Leader, he's annoying. He's Omega Leader.
Now, Omega Leader is going to have a very difficult time with this game because of Manaroo's ability. Because what Omega Leader really specializes in is giving a target lock onto that big enemy ship that you really don't want messing around with you, and then they can't modify any of your dice results. Mm-hmm. Enemy ships that have been locked cannot modify any dice when attacking or defending against your attacks. Big deal. But with Manaroo, you say, oh, that target lock that you put on me, I'm going to give it to Dengar. Oh, a Dengar has a target lock? Well, guess what? He has countermeasures to just get rid of it.
Yeah.
So it's very, very difficult in this particular game for Omega Leader, because if he gets too close to Dengar, Dengar can just mess him up on the turn that he doesn't want any kind of dice modification against him.
Absolutely. And so we see Harrison here is just completely well, both players have actually completely counter-deployed to each other. Harrison would deploy Manaroo first, Timothy opting to start on the opposite, the far opposite corner, and we'll see what happens. We've seen so far that the Jump Master can just clear a phenomenal amount of board space if it needs to. And, well, we know what a Phantom does. It's quite fast. You have a TIE, TIE FO. It's still a TIE fighter. The only thing I think here that's going to be lagging is that shuttle, but it doesn't really want to get too close to the action anyway.
No, I don't believe
Especially not against these two ships.
So it looks like Manaroo is just moseying on along. Manaroo doesn't really want to get in the fight, wants to let Dengar take charge when it comes to that and just completely annihilate his opponent.
Absolutely. Well, and she's really the, hey, I'm a focus battery for you, right up to the point where, oh, crap, I have to do something.
Oh, yeah.
And with Deadeye and 2 Proton Torpedoes, she can still put in some really hefty attacks from the range band that she wants to be sitting at anyway.
I was very interested to see this game on camera because it has been a while since we have seen a Phantom on camera, especially with the way that they play now, which is when they decloak, that's done at the very beginning of the initiative rather than on the initiative step of that particular fighter. So the way that decloaking is a little bit different now. They still whack a wallop. Very, very powerful fighter when used in the right hands.
Absolutely.
I wanted to see how well these guys can do against the double jump master list, this particular one, and I'm very psyched.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Now, the disadvantage here for Timothy is he does not have initiative, so Whisper will not be cloaked the first time Dengar shoots at her.
Yeah. And the other thing that's really important is the order of operation when it comes to Dengar firing back at a fighter that is in his primary fire arc. That Phantom, it only gets to cloak with advanced cloaking device after the attack is successfully resolved.
Yeah, it's should be pretty interesting. And Dengar is immediately after defending, so it's
exactly where the advanced cloaking device doesn't have the immediate stipulation. It just says after you perform an attack, you may perform a free cloak action.
Yeah, so it could be a really nasty ability, but with the Phantom at least it is quite capable of arc dodging, and he will be able to see where Dengar ends up before moving Whisper.
Yes.
So
I think that a lot of Timothy's real strength here is using the maneuverability of his fighters, and if he can manage to outmaneuver Dengar, deal with him quite quickly, and then go after Manaroo, he will have this game in the bag. And of course, Captain Yor just moseying on around with the Emperor Palpatine just chilling out, playing his favorite tunes. Now, one of the things that we didn't really discuss right off the bat was the asteroid deployment. There is a bunch of big rocks and a couple of debris fields. The big rocks, big fan, very spread out.
yeah, kind of a triangle down near the mid to lower section of the board.
Yes, and then 3 pieces right at the top.
3 debris clouds in a line.
Yeah. So I'm sure that if I was playing particularly and I wanted to counter asteroid deploy against this Dengar list, I would probably try to put those big rocks really close together and then force my opponent with my deployment to make him go through those rocks, because when it comes to debris, Dengar doesn't care if he gets stressed.
No.
Not a single care in the world if he gets stressed. Lands on a rock though, that's a different story. He can't shoot, and that is really, really powerful when it comes to only having Dengar being the main threat. Yeah, you might see Manaroo fire off some torps, but aside from the 1 or 2 rounds of actual firing that Manaroo gets, it's all Dengar all the time.
I do like how Timothy has deployed, even from the start, how he deployed, though. He deployed to the right of the Jump Masters, which is their weaker turning side. They don't like turning right.
Yeah.
So it doesn't let Harrison, just do those easy greens, easy whites that he otherwise wants to. He has to turn in his bad direction into the engagement here.
Now, one of the things, as you mentioned, he deployed on the right. What I am kind of a little suspicious of Timothy doing right now is he's going right in. He's going to try to joust with Dengar. I think he should have gone just continue going forward and then turn in later on, forcing Dengar to really get into those asteroids.
Yeah.
Now, this puts Timothy in a really bad place for two reasons. Obviously, the aforementioned jousting, but look where those debris fields are. There's no way that he's going to be able to decloak side to side next turn once he cloaks.
Yeah, he'll have to go forward. But this is still, it's a range 3, cloaked defense with Palpatine. Unfortunately, that's an awful lot of blanks.
Yeah, that is not a very good roll. Not a very good roll to see first turn of the game, especially when you're already cloaked.
Yeah. Now, provided he is Agent Kallus Dengar, that one focus, but this is Zuckuss. So it's forcing to reroll the focus and the evade.
Yeah. For the purposes of this game, Agent Kallus is on Dengar.
And that's awkward. So there is... Well, that'll be 2 defenses by opting to Palpatine.
So he's thinking about whether he wants to Palpatine. You see the Emperor Palpatine token.
Mm-hmm.
He's removed it. He's used it. Now he's looking at the focus, and does he remember that he has Agent Kallus? He's thinking about it.
Yep, it looks like. So he's pointing.
And there you go. He remembers to use that beautiful, beautiful crewman that he's paid points for. That's one of the real things that a lot of players need to remember, especially going into an event 3 or 4 games in, that you have abilities on you spent points on cards. You have to remember to use them.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult when you have like these one-off abilities like Boba Fett or Agent Kallus that might not come up all the time, but you have to really get into the habit of using those abilities.
Oh, for sure. I have to say, like, last turn, that turn in with Whisper, that really surprised me, with Omega Leader being way in the back there. The shuttle also just kind of hanging out, not doing a whole lot. I think a little, perhaps a little optimistic and a little aggressive there with Whisper. But we'll see. We'll see what happens if Whisper's able to survive this or not.
All right, so we have, looks like Yor is bumping, not necessarily the worst thing in the world. He's there for the Emperor, not to do actions.
Not so much, no.
I would like to see Omega Leader really jump into the thick of it. When you have aces, especially Palp Aces, arc dodging is your forte, and going in piecemeal is probably the last thing you want to do.
A Phantom is a very good ship. It's a really hard ship to pin down, but it's still not one you want to send in alone, not without support, especially not against Dengar or Manaroo.
So it looks like Omega Leader is not going quite as fast as I would have hoped. He does have that nice evade token saved up with the comm relay, so his actions are going to be fairly good for the game.
Yeah, and so Dengar is doing that beautiful white signature loop, getting himself into an excellent spot, and actually he will be able to next turn leverage the ability of the Jump Master to turn left quite easily and let him park himself in front of Timothy's fleet here. And we'll see where Whisper ends up, but she is not going to be happy.
That looks like a 4K turn.
Possibly? Yes. Oh no, that is a 4K.
That is a terrible spot for the Phantom to be, especially that far away from Captain Yor. If Whisper was closer, then it would be not so bad. Could get that stress off of her.
Yeah.
But that is a very risky move to play this early in the game, and it looks like Harrison had just picked it out.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Can Whisper survive basically the full fury of Dengar? And well, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Manaroo dumps one set of her Proton Torpedoes into Whisper here. Because of, her Deadeye, she's going to be in range 3. Take your 4 attack dice versus 2 defense. That's kind of disgusting. And just, I really, really hate doing K turns with Phantoms, especially when you don't have your fire control system already out on the board.
Yeah, and the thing is, okay, so here...
And there's a Glitterstim, so Harrison is going, I am going to remove Whisper this turn. I don't care. She is dying. Take us 4 attack dice into the side of her. And that is...
Just checking the lone wolf.
So reroll one of the blanks. There's a point. Glitterstim triggers, and that is 3 potentials. So at very least, one of these points is going to be going through.
Now that's 2 defense dice that the Phantom can roll, and with Zuckuss, you're probably going to reroll any successful attempts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And let's see. So there is 1 success, so we'll re-roll it. Now all Timothy needs to do is get a focus or an evade, and he can Kallus it, and then Palpatine the blank.
So there's Kallus,
Yep.
and Emperor Palpatine for 2, and takes 1
1.
shield. Fairly impressive. That could have gone a lot worse, and we really are getting to see the strength of Agent Kallus. Agent Kallus was one of those upgrades that a lot of people looked at and like, it's kind of nice, but when are you really going to use it?
He's an alright crewman, but here we go. So we have 5 attack dice from the Phantom, and oh, that is a phenomenal hit. Now Dengar will get to shoot back, so... And Whisper cannot cloak because she is stressed. Looks like he was able to evade... He evaded 2 of them, so there is 3 damage taken. A very nice hit, and will receive a focus, because it's assigned a focus token.
That is correct.
However, no actions. Can't cloak.
And that's very dangerous because Dengar can shoot back.
Dengar gets to shoot her anyway.
Yep.
And Glitterstims is still in effect. And this time, Timothy does not have Emperor Palpatine to save him. And oh, that is 4 hits, so that is a dead Whisper, guaranteed. No bones about it. Let's see how many damage points he's taking here. And a nice defense roll. Really doesn't need to Zuckuss this at all. And there she goes. So Whisper takes her 2.
And
Or takes...
looks like... Oh, yeah, there we go. They're just talking about exactly what we're thinking.
If she's going to be spending her focus. So takes a hit, takes a crit. See if the crit forces you to draw more cards. Looks like it doesn't.
It does not.
And there is Whisper just deleted from the board.
And that is incredibly scary, considering this is pretty much the first round of real shots. There was a round before, that was speculative shots. This was the first turn of getting into the scrum, and it turned out for the worst for Whisper.
Well, and to be fair, just given Whisper's position, I honestly wasn't surprised that she died. I was a little surprised it didn't take Manaroo to get that, to confirm the kill with a torpedo. But, no, I really expected her to go down. Being decloaked, within range 1 of Dengar, and within range of Manaroo, you're really unlikely to survive that.
I think what it really came down to was the placement and maneuvers that Timothy had chosen, and it got Whisper into a really bad place, and she paid the price for...
It's a very nice S-loop there, and it really does put Dengar, and now, just given how Harrison has maneuvered Manaroo, they're both turning into the sides they want to.
Mm-hmm.
He has completely flipped his orientation. He is now flying in the ideal direction for a jump master.
And on top of which, Manaroo is just flying around like she don't care.
Not at all.
She knows exactly what she's there for, and that is as a resource generator.
Mm-hmm. She's there as a battery.
She has constructed additional pylons.
Exactly. So let's see. We now have Omega Leader. Let's see what he can do against the big bounty hunter himself.
It's very dangerous for Omega Leader, as mentioned before, because of just not being able to use that ability that Omega Leader has very well. Also looked like Omega Leader is stressed. for
He's
landing
on the debris, and he rolled the crit, so takes the shield. Doesn't look like he opts for Captain Yor to take the stress, though.
I think he might be maybe misremembering Captain Yor's ability, or forgetting Captain Yor's ability. But that would have been a perfect opportunity to take that stress. Captain Yor is really not doing anything. Omega Leader really needs his actions, especially that target lock.
Yeah.
If nothing else, just to fish that countermeasures out this early in the game.
Mm-hmm. And so there's Manaroo giving her focus over. Omega Leader he's in range too, but definitely not in a good spot against Dengar. But let's see what he can do. All right. Very curious. All right, so we have Dengar deciding if he wants to get some long range into the shuttle, or start trying to deal with Omega Leader while he's still able to modify his attacks.
And he's seeing if he is within Lone Wolf range. Just getting
Looks
that.
like it, yeah.
Just getting that out of the way right now, so that there's no confusion later on. I find personally that when you already have your measuring stick out, and it's not going to come up again, probably a really good time to just get it out of the way.
Absolutely. All right, so here we've got Dengar opening up. And spend that focus token. Very nice use of it. And using the Overclocked R4 to keep a hold of it. And it looks like he is going for Omega Leader. Get him out of the way before he can get a lock in. And very nice defense roll on Omega Leader's part. However, so there is 2 uses of Zuckuss on the 2 evade results. And just that brutally powerful 1-point upgrade. And so we see there is Palpatine used to get up to 2 defenses, and Omega Leader will spend his token to mitigate all 3. Now, let's see. So he is going to shoot back. Now, this is definitely a risky proposition here. You have 2 unmodifiable attack dice versus 2 focusable defense dice.
No, don't do it.
Especially when Dengar's just going to shoot you back anyway.
Not worth it.
Oh, there it is. So just gives Dengar a completely free shot here. And a phenomenal roll.
Oh, yes. That's brutal.
And again, blowing the Overclocked R4, keeping hold of the focus. Honestly, you don't really need to now. I guess you can. It'll help against the shuttle if it's in range. But here we are. Let's see how Mega Leader does in this defense.
Not a bad roll.
No, still 2 defenses, and again, that not having the use cap on Zuckuss. Hey, I'm just going to keep getting stressed. And there is 3 hits into Omega Leader. Previously took the shield from going over the debris cloud.
Yeah, that misplay there with the stress is killing him right now.
Absolutely.
Now, it probably would not have made that much of a difference because of the aforementioned countermeasures, but getting that out of the way now, rather than it still being in play, is a huge thing.
And again, just Dengar proving that he's a pretty good pilot, and just, hey, all right, I'm gonna kill your fighter. Goodbye.
Yeah, Timothy shouldn't be jousting with Dengar, and he's paying the price for it.
Yeah, it's a very good lesson to learn, but it's a very hard lesson to learn. And that was a range 3 through a debris cloud, so 4 defense dice into the jump master. Dengar just doesn't care. Nice, easy Manaroo maneuver here. She knows where she wants to be. Just stay out of the fight. And then the captain, he is doing a zero maneuver. He does not want to get too close to both jump masters. Dengar moving up onto... Oh, an interesting choice here. Not 100% sure why he S-looped there, but...
I guess get on the debris field, I guess. Maybe nudge...
Yeah, it's a strange choice. Like, the shuttle is not going to move fast.
No, but I think the point... Well, the shuttle didn't move at all.
No. Alright, so Dengar, well, he'll be able to shoot behind him. Being on the debris cloud does not prevent your shots.
No, it does not impede you whatsoever.
No, so he'll be able to lone wolf. Thankfully enough, he'll be able to lone wolf and take probably 4 attack dice into the face of that shuttle. It looks like Harrison may be deciding if he wants to use countermeasures or not.
Oh, that close to the Lambda shuttle with 4 attack dice?
Probably a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, Harrison has this game in the bag. Now, all he has to do is ensure that he doesn't give up any MOV.
Yeah. He needs to keep Dengar from taking 2 points of damage. And there we have it. Yep. So good place to deploy the countermeasures. Get yourself up to 3, possibly 4 defense dice, depending on if that debris field is occluding the shots.
And that is an ability that you don't have to care about stress and use it.
Not at all. For a 3-point upgrade, one use only? I should hope not.
Yeah.
So hey, he's in range 1. Nice back shot, just saying, hey, what's up? I'm going to roll 4 hits. So 4 damage to the face, and it looks like by that defense roll, the debris field is not between the 2 ships.
No. And the Lambda shuttle, Captain Yor's only vessel right now, is sitting at 1 shield.
Hey, I'm going to roll 4 hits. With, no scope 360, let's do it.
Yeah, that's a pretty good roll on Yor's part, but not that good enough.
No, we have Palpatine used, so 3 potentials here. Let's see. So we have, 2 evades so far. Let's see if Lone Wolf can seal the deal, and it does. Gets away with it.
Yep.
I think that was a little more luck than the pilot. But.
Yeah, no kidding. What Timothy wanted to see was Harrison roll 3 focus results.
Absolutely. Well,
no, not even.
No, not even. 3 blanks would be ideal.
Yeah, 3 blanks.
You'll get to reroll 1 of them, but... So there's the captain moving up. Get rid of that stress. Let's see if he elects to target... so he is just saying, yep, I'm going to target lock Dengar. It's not going to stay on Manaroo anyway, so let's just throw it out on Dengar. Manaroo had moved up, focused as per usual. Dengar turning off of the debris. Not in an ideal direction for him, but
I don't think he's really caring too much about whether or not he'll get his munition shots.
Not so much, no.
I think it's more as long as I can shoot at you, I'm happy. He doesn't necessarily even want to get the double tap.
No.
And it looks like he might even be out of firing of the shuttle. It's very difficult to tell at this angle.
Yeah, that would be exactly what he wants. Just completely preserve the VP for the shuttle here. Checking Lone Wolf, you have your stick out. It looks like he is going to be in range 2 of Manaroo, so no reroll from that. But we've got 2 potentials going into the 1 defense dice of the shuttle. And shuttle will evade it, however, Zuckuss says, nope, I hit you anyway.
Now, does he want to take it off on Emperor Palpatine? That's the real question. So loses his last shield, only has 5 hull left.
Yep. So
And here we have Manaroo, and if
this should be a torpedo.
yeah, exactly. If my eyes don't deceive me, this will be a torpedo of some sort.
And just checking closest to closest if that's through. If that's through an asteroid. Or through the debris, sorry.
Now he's looking at an angle.
Yeah, so closest will be directly across. I would say no. I'd say that's a clear shot.
Looks that way to me. Looks like they are just trying to make sure that this is the closest point to closest point. If you ever have any questions like this, best thing to do is call a judge over rather than eat up valuable time. But I think they have enough time given the way that this game has gone and the fact that the Lambda shuttle is the only thing left and it only has a couple of hull left.
Mm-hmm.
By a couple, I mean 5, but...
Yeah.
So here we have some advanced trigonometry.
And it becomes pretty obvious that, that the closest point is going past the debris cloud. It's not going through it.
So it looks like some nice Proton torpedoes.
A just original wave upgrade that it makes resurgences every now and again. I'm always happy to see them used. They're 4 points. They're kind of expensive, but if you can use them, man, do they pack a wallop.
And it is the OG torpedo.
Exactly. And I like Proton torpedoes on Manaroo because they're a reasonably reliable way of getting crits through to trigger Boba Fett.
So here we have the focus and the guidance chips triggering.
Yep.
1 evade token.
So this is, well, there's damage going through. No questions.
Hit. And what is our crit? Is it a direct hit? No, it is a damage sensor array. Cannot perform any actions except listed on your damage card.
And here we have the bounty hunter himself. There is Boba. He goes in and just shoots the Emperor in the face.
I love it.
That I am really happy that we actually managed to catch that on camera. So 1 point Boba Fett getting a huge amount of use.
Yeah.
And honestly, if I was Harrison right now, I wouldn't care if Boba didn't get use the rest of the tournament. He killed the Emperor. Job's done.
Well, that's what he's there for.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing, especially when you're dealing with Palp Aces, as long as you can get one of these, Emperor Palpatine kills in, it doesn't matter if the shuttle's there or not, you've basically done its job.
Yeah. And the interesting thing I would think Boba would be quite interesting in, like, a scum mirror match with, hey, I'm going to try to kill Zuckuss off of Dengar. Off of Dengar.
Oh, yeah.
Just get him out of here. Go away.
That would be killer.
And so there's the shuttle shooting back at Manaroo. Manaroo, range 3 defense with her focus, didn't care. Pulling a hard over. And that shuttle is looking rough. He's only got 2 health left?
Yeah, the shuttle is on his last legs for sure. Not sure how he's going to manage to fare against both Dengar and Manaroo at this point.
Well, he hopefully can get a couple points of damage through onto Dengar, get himself half MOV, but not going that way, he's not. Onto a debris cloud. That is a strange direction to have him turn. Though Manaroo was close enough that, well, he's probably not going to be able to shoot her he probably would have bumped into her anyway, but... And let's see where Dengar goes. Unsurprisingly, continuing the turn away from the shuttle. Just keeping the shuttle in engagement, but having absolutely no chance to get shot back at. Manaroo giving over the focus. And so here we are. Let's see. Dengar is definitely in lone. Definitely within the range that Lone Wolf won't trigger.
Yeah. You're really close.
It's close, but... 3 focused attack dice against... 2 defense dice on the shuttle, but... No modifications on the shuttle. And there is... Well, that looks like 3 hits. And there it is. That's 3 points going through onto the shuttle.
And that will be a dead Captain Yor.
Absolutely.
And with that, the game would be over. There they are. There's the handshake.
Wow, that was a very quick, very decisive game. I like to see the Dengaroo versus Imperial Aces, or Palp Aces specifically. You know, you have the old standby of Palp Aces versus the new kid on the block of Dengaroo. And I like seeing both players put their own personal touches on each list. I gotta congratulate Harrison here. He flew spectacularly. He obviously knows his fleet. He knows exactly what he wants his ships to do and what they can do. And, you know, all my props go out to him. He did a very good job in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that for this video is definitely a lot of lessons to be learned for Timothy. Not to go crazy, balls to the wall, just in like that, especially against something that wants to joust with you. I think that was incredibly important. Harrison was able to play the game on his terms. He was rewarded for it, and the game ended very quickly because Harrison played into his strengths and took advantage of his opponent's weaknesses. I am really interested to see how this squadron would have done if it had flown with that knowledge behind it. I need to get in the arc. I need to really avoid jousting with Dengar, but that was not the case. I am very interested to see how Harrison might do in the future with the games going ahead, and that is a special note because this up until recently we've just played random games of the Swiss. Now that we're in the last 3 games of the Swiss, the next rounds are going to be the top games of the Swiss. We've shaken up the players a bit. Some have fallen to the bottom, some are stuck in the middle, and some are at the top, and we want to see what is going to be the top games of the Swiss. So you stay tuned to that. If you want to say anything in the comments about the game, if you liked some of the new overlays, let us know. But for the most part...
as always, thanks for watching us, Wookies on X-Wing. Be sure to like and subscribe. We've got Wookies videos out every Wednesday.
If you're part of Northern Gaming Network, be sure to check it out at northerngamingnetwork.com, where we have additional content for this game and others.
And if you guys ever want to get a hold of us outside of the comment section, John's going to tell you how you can do that.
Well, you can find me at Korhath on Twitter, but you can also find us on Twitter at NorthGameNet, or you can like us on Facebook to keep up with our most recent news.
See you guys next week.